Hello and welcome back to the Esports Central Podcast. We here for episode number 15. We back to the local shit. Good stuff. It's a FortniteZA special. I'm joined by Concept and the best Fortnite player in South Africa, Mr. Neymar. How are you doing, Nate?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
I'm good. And my fellow other guy here is Concept. We're doing a 3-man podcast today. In Concept, should I introduce you? Should I hype you up too, man?
Hey, I don't know, dude. You hype Dave up. You like this is the best Fortnite player, and then you come and you say other guy with me. So I don't know, eh? It's fine.
See, the problem is we have Concept is that we do too much work together now. So if I hype you up, we're just gonna look biased, you know.
Exactly. Facts. So let's allow Nate to shine.
100%. We can't even stop it, even if we tried, Concept. Even if we tried. But to just introduce Concept a little bit, he is the guy, head honcho there from FNZA. He helps me out with things in Gamers of Color Discord. He's an admin for Metal State as well. He's a guy, he prides himself on being behind the scene, but he's doing a lot, right, Concept?
Yeah, dude. Like I strive in the shadows. You know, it's not always about being in the front lines. You know, just grind and I work and I help. You know, with the comm.
All right.
As much as I can.
That's a good positive message I can get behind. So Neymar, you are
Stop.
considered by many one of the best Fortnite players in SA, mostly the best Fortnite SA player in SA. But the one thing I noticed when I look at Neymar off the bat is that you haven't really let it get to your head, like in the context of FortniteZA. You just there, you do your thing. You're not a big shouty guy. You don't brag about the things a lot. How do you bring that mentality to the table?
I don't know. I usually don't think about those kind of stuff. Well, I do, but not like all the time. And usually, like over Twitter, I try and keep my like status, you can say, social media status like simple and clean. I look up to one of like Fortnite players from NA West. His name is Rex, and his Twitter looks just so clean with just his placements, his videos, and maybe like he'd say one thing out of nowhere, you know. And I feel like I don't know, that's just my thing as well. I like just being super clean and not saying much.
All right, that makes sense.
He is super clean.
What did you say, Concept?
I'm saying he is super clean. Like I've been in Discord calls where it's there and a couple of other people want to do some bad things and Nae's always the one like, nah, gents, nah, dude, why? You know? So yeah, man is clean.
I know that I heard that story in the background. It was a very funny story, actually. But now, Concept, you on the other end of things, obviously being one of the few quote-unquote older figures in the FortniteZA, you kind of got a responsibility now to the scene because usually, you know what? I don't know what's the word to say, but the Fortnite kids aren't always well behaved. So coming from like the background space, being a sort of TO, what is it like having to see, you know, the Fortnite kids tweet? For now, it's a clean environment. That's why I was like, okay, it's a very good time to do the interview. But like usually, things get spicy, you know.
Things do get spicy and things do get pretty hectic. Like sometimes you'd be sitting there and you hear your phone blowing up saying, you know, people messaging you saying, have you seen Twitter? You jump on Twitter and certain issues has arisen. Like one kid maybe said something really bad. They don't understand that it how can I say it affects everyone. Like them being negative puts a whole negative stigma on FortniteZA. Like, oh, okay, typical ZA kids, you know, FortniteZA kids being toxic as usual. Sponsors look at that, and from a TO's perspective, it's kind of a nightmare because now you have to try to fix that real quick before multiple sponsors look at it because they're not going to want to invest in FortniteZA because it's toxic, known to be toxic.
Right. I mean, I think it's something a lot of Fortnite kids like don't actually know about me is that because I think it's not actually exclusive to them. Most people in South African esports in any space, like they don't really know what's going on in the other spaces. So I can say two things about FortniteZA, right? The one part is you guys are actually the biggest scene by far. Like honestly, the amount of you just look at like social engagement and stuff you get. You look at the kind of streams that the Fortnite kids have. You look at Neymar's YouTube channel, how many people are subbed there. Fucking FortniteZA is massive, right? But at the same time, it is also the messiest comm. Like in terms of like shit shows and Twitter fires and that kind of stuff going on all the time. It's very hard from a brand point of view to get involved. So y'all sitting at home tweeting shit the whole day, just think about that because it actually has an effect. And y'all know I'm also a loud guy and things on Twitter. So it's not like I'm also one of those people who just want to see, you know, cool, calm, collected stuff the whole time, even though I respect it from a guy like Neymar. But there's like limits. There's like limits. So Neymar, do you even feel like when you see these issues and stuff come up, or we'll use racism for example, when people are caught being very racist and stuff, does it feel like do you feel a bit motivated, like you want to say something about like combating racism or whatever, and it's a case of like, but like you feel so messy to get involved in, even though you have an issue with the problem at hand?
Yeah, exactly how you said it. Like I would like to say something sometimes, but at the same time, I just don't want to get involved. It's not my thing to get involved or whatever. And usually, what I've noticed is right. I feel like the racist thing was handled perfectly, but like like if someone has like little beef or something happens in like a week or so, it would be forgotten about in my opinion.
Right.
And then like when people actually speak about it in a call or something, oh okay, yeah, I actually remember that. It doesn't like keep on every single week or every single month. Oh yeah, this happened, or just like quickly goes away in my opinion.
That's like
And it's maybe because I don't see it a lot. I don't know.
No, I think that's like some top tier insight about FortniteZA, where I realized that like people are kind of addicted to it's like if the drama is there, right? Well, we call it a drama. It's like only entertainment for like 3-4 days, maybe a week tops if it's like the spiciest thing. But for the most part, like they just get bored. They don't care anymore. It's like it's the biggest issue in the world, and then it's like gone. They move on. Is that is that fair concept?
It is fair, dude. It is fair, and sometimes it's the same case with more serious issues where maybe me as a person of color, I can't walk away from that. It's it's I'm not saying it's all of them, but some of them are just like they'd cause so much stir and say certain things where they'll move on from it, and I'm still there sitting like, yo, that doesn't sit right with me.
And I get it, like from Nay's point of view, right? Like I've actually criticized Neymar, like people in the past for, even though like they have these big platforms and stuff and they don't usually use them. Like I feel like when there's big issues, like people like pro players getting caught with the K word, etc. Like I'm one of those people who are like, you know what? You involved in the scene and such, you have this platform, you need to say something about it to make sure it, so we don't enforce that behavior. We make sure that it's not okay, even from the top, But I feel like in your position, I don't know if I would tell you specifically to do that. And I'm not making excuses just because I'm fanboying for Neymar or whatever because he's here on this podcast. I really feel like in FortniteZA, it's too difficult to be involved in these things because every second day there's some mad shit going down, and it's like it's draining. Like I asked Concept, I told him like I'm happy to work and do things behind the scene and stuff in Fortnite, but I can't actually deal with this day-to-day shit because I'm gonna burn out. Like it's just too much. Is that how you feel also at times, Nate?
Yeah, 100%. And it's, I don't know, it's tiring because there'd be, oh wait, it's 2 weeks, no beef or whatever. But like, I'm constantly waiting for like the time someone's gonna get called out for something, or just something random happened in a tournament. It's always gonna happen. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
And Concept, from the TO side,
I mean,
how do you feel about that? Sorry to cut you off there, sir.
No. It is draining. It is hectic. I mean, we're trying our best as TOs. Like we've come together. We have a relationship where we talk about these things, to each other. About, okay, cool. There's this new issue, with this individual. How do we handle this? Was it intentional? Those kind of things, and then we as TOs, sort of band together to try fix the comm as much as we can. I know we've EPS, EVAC, Metal State, ACGL, FNZA. Yeah, we do have that unity towards stopping all of this. Zero tolerance, basically.
All right, you love to hear it. So this is something you don't know actually, Concept, because you haven't been around long enough for this kind of stuff. But like the TOs communicating, even though like I think a lot of the Fortnite TOs are kind of behind in the sense because like they're younger and they just come in and the resources are not the same as your like your Metal States and your VSs and such. But in the past, like South African, it's like a whole running meme that in like South African esports, TOs never ever spoke to each other. Like the famous thing is like VS Gaming and like Comic Con and Rage, like purposely trying to like cut each other's dates off and things. So it's like it's already a really great thing from the new generation stepping up in TOs and SA where people are talking. They're like, okay, this tournament's coming up on this day. Let's try to accommodate each other. Let's try to get rulings in place together where we ban players at the same time. Because trust, that shit never happened before. Did you even know South African esports history is like 10 years old? It's like always like okay, we're gonna screw this one over, this one's gonna screw that one over, and it's like, guys, there's 52 weeks in a year, just chill out, we'll be fine, Man, it's funny. But in Fortnite, they say, like, I feel like the scene is also really underrepresented in a way in terms of like quote unquote professionalism, right? It's like, even though there's like so many people involved, it's pretty big. I don't think like Fortnite SA has actually got a taste of like the esports side of it. It just feels like still like competitive gaming. There's a lot of things happening, but it's like in the other esports of like your CSGOs and like your Dotas in the past and stuff, they were telling the players they're like esports athletes. They were doing all these photo shoots. There was like freaking interviews. There's like they will hype the guys up a lot. Where I feel like Fortnite never really got that opportunity yet. So maybe do you think that's kind of part of the reason for like the unprofessionalism, I'd like to call it, Nay, where it's like you guys actually haven't been shown the quote unquote right way yet. So you don't know actually how to act, so to speak. Do you think that's part of it, or am I off the mark here?
No, it is part of it, but also I don't think there's a lot of like organizations who are part of FortniteZA as well. Like I can name like it's like 5 or 6, but recently. But
Right.
before there was maybe just 2 organizations or 3 organizations. Before obviously Bravado got in.
Yeah.
And like the only like organization I could remember is like ATK and AG at one point. And then I don't know. Also, our community is also quite young.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of older people in our com. Like how you can say to Concept, you part of the older group of people. I feel like where in other communities you don't usually say that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because FortniteZA is that young. I don't know. So
100%.
maybe it's a bit.
Like I agree, 100%. Like the player base is young, unlike your CS where it's like adults, and you do have it's a mixture of both, but predominantly more adults than youngsters. With Fortnite, it's most of your competitive players are young. Once you hit even 22, now you qualify as a boomer. In Fortnite. So I feel that, and the fact that Fortnite doesn't have servers plays a huge part when it comes to organizations looking at Fortnite. They're like, okay, this game, as popular as it is, doesn't have servers, so you'd have people probably branching off to other games. Let's just rather invest in maybe COD that has South African servers. Plus, obviously, the whole toxicity and whatnot kind of makes people shy away from investing time and effort into trying to make that the Fortnite scene, like you said, a whole esports thing where interviews and that kind of thing play.
I think like for me, the age thing is a really big thing, because I feel like even in like the racism video and stuff I did around like the Fortnite guys, the guys who got caught and things, like I was very deliberate with the way I spoke and things in that interview, where I wasn't like saying this person is a racist. I was like saying they acted in a racist way. I was like very deliberate by me, because I felt like I didn't want to be labeling these young people, they're like 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds and stuff. And I feel like the whole com is kind of like that, where even though you guys are by far the worst behaved com I've ever seen in SA Esports, it's like you guys are the youngest. A lot of these guys, like Concept is saying, are old fucks like him, so they don't have excuses to behave the way they do. Where you guys are kind of young, it's like first generation also growing up on the internet age. It's like when I was growing up, I never used Twitter and all that kind of stuff. Like I had like a Facebook account that I hardly ever used, but like I didn't grow up in social media where every single Fortnite kid knows, like, they have their Twitter, they have their small YouTube channel, they have like they like know all the basics. So in terms of like functioning as like professionals in terms of the esports side, in that sense, they're actually ahead of, I think, a lot of the older generation sort of mentalities in esports SA, which is actually really great. But the fact you mentioned about the servers Concept, on the old version of this podcast, right, when it was like a whole panel of like me, Prophecy, Extremes and stuff, we used to make fun of fucking Fortnite and Epic Games every week, because it's like, it's called the Esports Central Podcast, and I don't feel like Epic Games take Fortnite as an esports seriously, as a game and as a form of media and stuff. The thing is hyped. You have the Marvel collabs, you have the Star Wars collab. For the casuals, it's great, but for like an esport, like maybe you can even like respond to this if you want. They don't like they don't really take the competitive side for like the quote unquote the pros and the esports side of it that seriously. Is that how you feel like as a player sometimes playing as a pro in the game?
I feel like it has gotten much better. They have been
Okay.
replying to everything recently, and not everything, but like they'd comment on certain things. Like over the weekend, right? The French players had an internet problem where before they wouldn't say anything, but now they said in the rules we can't change the time of the tournament just because a few people were affected. Where before they wouldn't even say anything about it. Now they're actually like, oh wait, we see your problem. We see why everyone's saying this, and like yeah, they're just replying now. I feel like, and also I feel like they are taking it a bit more serious because they did say in their blog post that 2 weeks before FNCS or something, they're going to test out the loot pools. So they're not just going to throw the guns in there or whatever. If we say, okay, we don't like a gun, maybe they'll take it out because that's what they said. They'll listen to our feedback in the post. So who knows?
Oh,
Maybe.
that's
Yeah.
great to hear. That is honestly so great to hear because I feel like before, it was a massive level of
It was
disrespect.
really
to them.
bad.
Yeah.
It was
Like
really bad, yeah.
patches dropping before tournaments and things. And concept,
Mm,
you
mm.
from the TO side, right? This is the thing I know, and I think this is Fortnite's biggest weakness, especially in South Africa, is that actually
Mhm.
being able to host a tournament and broadcast it. This is the key part. It's near impossible if you don't give you out the fucking spectator tools and shit. And like, how do you run events if you can't broadcast them? Unless you're VS Gaming, they can do that, of course.
Mm.
but gotta
I
throw
think
it at
ACGL
you.
can do that as well,
Don't
right?
Yeah.
start. I think
Yeah.
they took that away right now from most of the TOs.
Oh.
It's a nightmare. I'm not gonna lie, it's a nightmare. Just to get people to stream. You need to have a good relation with your players. And without that relationship with your players, they're not gonna want to stream because they're competitive and streaming does affect
Mhm.
your, you know, your PC. So I think that's the only way you're gonna survive is building that relationship, building that bond, and them saying, okay, it's gonna affect my PC, but the relationship I have with this TO
Right.
and the understanding that we have, I'm gonna stream for their benefit because they're very thankful. Sponsors, dude, we've had a tournament recently. Barry's gonna look at this and he's gonna be like so mad where no one streamed. Legit, no one streamed. It was a creative tournament, and no one wanted to stream. They all wanted the prize. It was a screen, and no one literally wanted to stream. They were like, "No, we'll stream on Discord," and you can't force them. We don't have a rule saying everybody must stream.
Right.
You know, I've seen TOs enforce that where I'm not gonna. I don't know. Nay, maybe you can tell me. In SML, there was this huge thing with that tournament.
Yeah.
You know, I understand from a sponsor's perspective. The sponsor wants to see what's going on, who's playing. You know, they want those numbers to come back. If you can't offer those numbers on the socials, basically promoting the sponsor, then you lose out. They
Yeah.
don't want to work with you. You know.
Yeah, like I don't know, it
So-
happens to Travis and I all the time. I know Travis seems open to it now, right? But when Ari used to ask to stream, I would also say to him like, Trav, I don't know if you should stream. Like we play weird on stream, our comms would be different because we know there's people watching. Or like Travis's performance sometimes, with his PC, he gets like lower frames or something. It's weird. Like we just have to get used to it. Like now, what we've been doing for Aero, we stream in Discord for him. So you join our Discord, deafened, because it takes less performance out of his PC. And Travis would stream in Discord, but it would be at like 30 FPS and 720p. But yeah, but that's like the best we do. But like I do get it. Like I don't know, it does affect some people because like especially if it's a big tournament like NSML, right? Travis was asked to stream. I don't think he streamed it. And Walker's also asked to stream. They didn't stream it because it's a big tournament. You want to do your best, and on top of that, the nerves. And now you have 100 people watching you as well. Is like it's scary, I can only imagine like how the pros feel overseas as well. So
And it is scary. And unfortunately, unlike other games where even PUBG Mobile, you have that spectating feature. Epic is like, nah. Mm-mm. You figure out a way. And it's unfortunate for like TOs because we suffer it. There's other TOs that want to pick up Fortnite, but once they find out, Fortnite doesn't have a spectating feature, how are we going to do this? And they just give up.
the only thing I could think of, right? Sorry to interrupt.
Go first, Nate. Go for it.
I was like, I don't know, maybe it could help, right? Like, let's say if you tell someone, if you can stream the tournament, the whole tournament for me, we'd pay you a certain amount. That's the only thing I could think that maybe people would be open to. So you'd have your prize pool, and then you'd say, okay, the streamers who stream would get $15, for example. I don't know.
Okay. Nay. If I have a tournament for 100,000 rand,
Yeah.
and I contact you, I'm like, mate, I'll pay you 100 rand to stream. Or are you gonna stream?
No, but it's like, for an example, I don't know, like I don't know.
So basically, what you see, what you're telling me, we already do, but you'd find it's the smaller players who won't qual that will agree to that. The people that people like you, players like you guys, where like the casuals want to actually look at, they want to see Neymar's game, they want to see Travis's game, Rejex's game, but Travis, Rejex, or Neymar is not going to stream because they want to win.
I get that.
So I don't know. Yeah, we hear you, but like sometimes it doesn't work. It only works out with the people that know. I might probably not place anyway, so let me take this $15 and at least get something out of it.
I get that. I also think that right now there is a lot of people streaming tournaments, while EPS ones, you get Luca, you'd have Gloves, of course, they're on the same team, right? Then you get Bojo, who's a different trio. Travis has streamed the past few ones as well. You'd get CK, maybe Deimos and Warrior stream now and then. Bean would also be streaming it on Twitch or YouTube. There is a few people, and I would say, in my opinion, those players almost every game make it to end game, so you do have perspectives all the way around the whole, like throughout the game, which is good. But it would be nice to have, of course, way more players.
I feel like the struggle in South Africa, at least what the current state of the spectator tool and shit, is that it's very hard actually to do it, because obviously you have to find that midway between players, because like you say, Neymar's trying to win the tournament. He doesn't want to get that FPS drop in like the final zone. He's fighting up against Kareem or something, like it could cost him the tournament. So they don't want to risk that. Obviously, I think the pressure thing and stuff, Neymar, with all due respect, y'all got to get over that shit, right? Because if it gets big enough, y'all will be on the streams and stuff anyways. But that part is like, you have to understand, in South Africa you can't really enforce players, like players having been forced to stream, because not everybody can, right? So it's a iffy thing. But like I honestly believe the minute the Epic gives us like a spectator tool and stuff where you can stream and have like full on view and camera options and stuff, I think FortniteZA, even with all the toxicity and stuff, let all these TOs talk their trash now. But when it comes, dude, it's gonna be popping. Like, I genuinely think so. Concept, do you agree?
Sure. I agree 100%. Currently, FortniteZA, the whole scene is like the Loch Ness monster of the Esports Central. It shouldn't exist, We have toxicity, we have no servers, we have no spectating feature. We're just, winging it the whole time. And we just need one thing, at least one dub, just give us something, give us a server, give us a spectating feature and see what happens. There's multiple tournament organizers that want to jump in Fortnite, but they can't, because they're looking at it from an investment perspective. Like, okay, cool, we do have competitive players, but at the end of the day, we don't have the streaming capabilities. So sponsors are going to be iffy about that. We don't have servers, so we're going to be, obviously, you don't want to stream. I'm like, yeah, I'm already lagging and now you want me to stream, so I feel the same way. Like, if they give us that feature, there's a lot that's going to happen.
I don't think the TOs overseas have the features all, except DreamHack, like the really big ones. Because there's sometimes where Bhamjee or whoever was playing a tournament that posts first in this cup, and I didn't even know he was playing it, because he wasn't streaming it or anything. And yeah, I don't know. Only the big tournaments that Fortnite have put in their com tab have the spectating tool.
I'll make a perfect example of how this is sort of hurting us. Mega Gaming have a tournament for 100K, right? But they're forcing players to play it in normal solos because Arena doesn't allow you to spectate. So I don't know. Maybe I think that's also part of the cause.
Yeah.
So that how do you feel about that, Nay? Because
it was a big problem
TO's
when they did say that, and then I did speak to Neil about it. I was like, Neil, like, I'm telling you, people will stream it just to not play normal solos because it's not competitive whatsoever. But yeah, I don't know.
I
It is
think
a
for
big
100K,
problem.
right? Obviously, if people can. I think the problem is that, like, I don't know if TOs have the trust to believe. Let's say if you tell them,
Mhm.
Neymar, not saying you, I was using it as an example, right? If you tell them, no, I can't stream, whatever, like,
Mhm.
how are they, like, can they trust that? Because I feel like a lot of top players might actually do that. And I'm not trying to question integrity or anything like that. I just think
Uh-huh.
is you want to maximize your chance. But I feel like if you have a 100K tournament, you should be able to justify putting in there that players have to stream because you have to get your return somehow, right? It's 100,000
But
rand, guys. Like, that's a fucking massive investment.
that being said, do you remember in the beginning when I asked Nay and I was like, Nay, for 100K,
Yeah.
and I pay you 100 rand, will you stream? And Nay was like, yeah, no,
But
not
if you
really.
can't
thing
play the
is,
tournament, though, if you couldn't play the tournament, Nay,
if it
or
was like in the rules saying, okay, you have to stream it, then okay, yeah, probably I'd stream it. If it's solos and it's that big
Mhm.
of a price, but I'd stream it.
there you go.
Like I would. And especially if it is trios, if one person in the rules it says, okay, one person of the trio has to stream it unless you have like a valid reason or something. Especially if it's like a LAN. Then yeah, okay, then yeah.
Okay. But that being said, remember NSML,
Yeah.
right? When they switched servers
Yeah.
on Twitter that week, the toxicity that came out of it. Now, we trying to run away from toxicity, and 100% if a tournament organizer actually says or enforces that, there's going to be drama. 100% there's going to be drama. There's going to be comments on Twitter. It's going to be a whole negative fest, and TOs don't want that.
Yeah.
But
I
So I
feel
don't
like
know.
regarding that situation, right, they hosted the quals on ME as well. I think one qual was on EU. And then the reason why they hosted it on EU, because one Nigerian team made it through.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, I feel like, yeah, I don't if it was in the rules or what, because if it was in the rules, they should have kept it EU from quals as well. They shouldn't have changed it to ME too. Because them changing the finals of the tournament when I feel like one Nigerian team was the only reason why we changed it over. Like, is it really worth? Because they'd play 20 ping higher or so, 20, 30 ping higher. We'd be playing 50, 60 ping higher. It's way different. It's a whole different game.
Yeah, but the problem is the sponsor does originate from Nigeria, so he's
Yeah.
always going to favor their side. Just like any other sponsor, they have requests that you as a player find it silly, but obviously a TO has to honor that because that's where the money's coming from.
But Carter, from the mega gaming analogy, right? I think this is a better place to stick because, like, in a local sense, right? Mega gaming already they already know the lay of the land from FortniteZA. They've been part of it, so it's not like a new company coming. So they already know the toxicity factor, right? But I honestly think, no matter how many players tweet or say this or tries do their petitions and all that shit that we've seen before, if it's 100,000 rand tournament and they say you have to stream or you can't play and they're willing to stick by their fucking guns, all these people will play anyways, dude. No matter what shit gets said on Twitter, if they're willing to like weather that storm, it'll be fine. And I think what TOs also need to realize is they mustn't try have the guys stream and then you have like a me or Arrow or somebody try to cast the game. Because if you have the pro guy streaming, you should actually just you need to endorse their streams. Like if Neymar's streaming from his own channel or something, for example, like that's way bigger. But then again, it's also an iffy thing to try like get guys to do content and stuff in that way. But I think like the numbers and stuff you can be very creative with how you do these events, like kind of like our ACGL and us at Gamers of Color did our Among Us thing, right? Where you have the guys using their own platforms for our event or ACGL's event. Like you get much more engagement that way than through like traditional esports tournament styles, like by far, because your caramel gamer has 100 people watching his stream alone, and your esports stream would have 100 or maybe 200 people at max. But if you have like your caramel gamer, your Tendo, your Neymar, your Kareem, for example, you're gonna have way more engagement through that way, I think. And it's all new people because it's their audiences, not your mega gaming audience, for example. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all.
Yeah, I do get that. Does make sense.
But I got a question in terms of enforcing that rule. Now, are you enforcing a rule that tournament organizers can pick at random who gets to stream, or are you telling everybody in the lobby must stream? Because there's certain people that can't stream. They're on console or they have really, really bad Wi-Fi. You can't force them to stream. Now, where's the level of being fair where I can just walk up to them like, Neymar, I know you can stream, so stream. And maybe that weekend he's having bad Wi-Fi. Now he has to stream because you put it in the rules, right?
It's a rough one because I think like
I don't. It is a rough one.
if they had to have a thing of like, okay, let's say you must have like you need to like show your speed test, your IP has to be like, and they could enforce it some ways. I think if you like, let's say you have a very slow internet. I mean, I'm sure people would hustle it and try cheat the system, but like I feel there needs to be like at least a certain level of buy-in from your top guys. Like there needs to be a meeting where you sit with your Neymar, your rejects, your Kareems, and be like, listen here, guys, if you can do this, we can host this 100,000 rand tournament. No excuses, no bullshit. Sign these contracts, make it happen. Where if you get your top 10 players or your top 10 teams signed, then it doesn't matter what the rest do, dude. Because if Neymar's streaming and fucking Woke is streaming and Kareem is streaming and shit, those are going to be the main streams watched anyways. Your Lucas are streaming, etc. I think that the TOs need to be a bit more clever concept, honestly. I think as well.
That's what I said. You need a relationship with your players. That's what you say, exactly. You need to have that relationship and be like, yo, guys, I want to do this, for this much. But the issue that I'm having is AB. And I think you guys can solve AB, but you must be willing to solve AB.
Both ways. Both ways. I think both parties are responsible to think of the stuff. Because remember, we're saying at the start of the podcast, Neymar, we're going to throw it to you now. I don't know why us two old men are going at it here. But like, the thing is, right? We said it at the start of this podcast, the Fortnite guys are all kids. All they want to do is focus on the Fortnite and play the game. And it's not just FortniteZA. Every fucking esport pro in the world thinks like this. All they give a fuck about is the game. And that's what gives them their competitive edge. That's what seals the deal. But the guys at the back room, the guys hosting the tournaments, the business guys need to think about covering all the bases. And I feel like, I think maybe our idea could work here. So Mega Gaming, if we test it out, we're happy to give you the idea. But if they're more creative, it could work out. I don't know. Neymar, what do you think about this 50-50 me and concept proposing here from a player's point of view?
I'm confused. I'm confused about the question. Like,
where do you...
Carry on?
Oh, okay. I was like, where do you sit on, like, what would be the reasonable compromise for the TO and the player in this situation?
I feel like what Concept said with, getting the 10 teams, right? The 10 best teams and saying, okay, we can solve A and B. This is what I want us to do. And I can host this tournament for you guys, of course. Then, yeah, that could work as well. But also, when people just want to think about the game and stuff like that, that also can be a reason why people won't stream. It's just, I don't know. It, like you said, it is 50-50.
All right. That makes sense. Now I'm going to switch gears here, but concept. So from TO side, now that we're on this fucking thing here, I feel like there's been a lot of like FortniteZA is like really creative in how they do their events. Like I've always criticized TOs in the past in South African esports for doing the same monotonous shit, trying to be like ESL their whole lives and failing because we're South Africa and we're not like EU and shit. But I feel like Fortnite has been kind of creative. I give like, you guys run that bounty things at the moment. I see a lot of the TOs doing EPS as well. Some games is a thing, obviously creative and all that kind of stuff. And like, I think the most clever thing, no bias because I was involved in it, but Montage Mania, where all 3 years were in, that shit was lit, dude. So how did you kind of get to this like creative idea, and what is your motivation for running an event for editors, but like the whole comp seem to enjoy it and love it?
Basically it came to me as, what? There's been a lot of events that have, it's the same thing over and over. It's like a tournament, 100 man, they play and it's done. And I was like, what? I actually want to make content, I actually want to focus on the content as perspective, have something where people can be entertained just by watching it. It's like, okay, cool. There was a tournament, maybe hypothetically speaking, ACGL hosted a tournament, they played it, it's done, chucked it away. I don't think anyone actually goes back on ACGL's YouTube channel and just goes and watches an old tournament. But I wanted something where other people could like go back and like, check something out, like, oh wow, okay, this guy made so and so and so and so. And obviously editors have been looked over in this com. So I was like, what, let's throw a bone to the editors and see what happens. I contacted most of the editors to try to get like, an idea, like, yo, if we did something like this, would you guys be interested? And most of them were like, yeah, 100%, we'd be down. And so we ran with it. And I'm very happy that Neymar, Rejects, Panda, and Kareem, were keen. because those are the people that we needed on board as well.
Mm.
Because the editors, obviously, having a competition, you wanted them to choose, not just like limiting them to one specific individual. You're like, okay, you know what, editors, show us what you can do, you know.
Right.
And yeah, it came out. It came out amazing. Dude.
That is great. And like even like Nate, you can answer here as well. Like the fact that like your Neymars and rejects, so the people who weren't the editors directly were involved. Like I want to make a shout out to FortniteZA is that I feel like Neymar, I've reached out to Neymar for interviews before, Woke as well. Like the FortniteZA kids, like are really fucking keen to do shit. Like they don't have like, even though they can be one way on Twitter, not Nate, of course, but like they down for things at the end of the day, and I really like that. I feel like out of all the esports scene, I feel like doing content with the Fortnite guys is like super easy. So Nate, from your perspective, when Concept approached you about this thing, what is going through your head about trying to be involved in this kind of event?
The only thing like regarding the montage mania that I was that I needed to get like sorted for, it was just my clips, because it's something that it's not hard to do. If like, yeah, I just need to submit clips, and then we get into this goal and like choose over who has the best montage. Like it's fine, I don't mind that whatsoever. Just a little problem, but of course it's not a problem. If I need to get clips, I'll be able to get clips and then send it through. But yeah, I'm down for it.
So did you expect us to sit in a call for like 2 hours? Because that's what literally happened. A lot of people walked in and were like, cool, we're just gonna jump in a call afterwards and we're just gonna pick number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
20 minutes, boy. You told us 20 minutes.
I said 20 minutes. That's what I thought as well. Even me. I was like, it's going to be quick, guys. We're going to sit there, and we just obviously going to pick, the top 5. Easy.
I didn't expect.
And we ended up sitting there for 2 hours.
Yeah, I didn't expect the 2 hours, right? But it was fun, We had our laughs and stuff. And it's not like I'm doing it with people who I don't like. I like Panda, Reject, Kareem. They're friends of mine. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm going out of my way. I'm spending 2 hours with someone, or I don't want to speak to this person or something, It wasn't like it's boring or complete boring. We were just speaking about videos, watching the editors do stuff, and yeah, we had our thing. I don't know.
Well, good stuff. Concept, I will say, okay, I know it's FNZA and I know I was part of it, but mostly like credit to you guys. Like I was just, we're always there for whatever events we're doing for each other.
Cracking ribs.
People don't know how close me and this guy actually are. Neymar knows, you see that's bigger. But like fucking that event was actually a monumental achievement in my mind, because like if you look at from a social point of view in terms of like engagement, I feel like just off the top of my head, Muggles like video preview alone, his preview, not even the full fucking video, had like 2,000 people watching it. I think I would say easily over that 3-4 day period of Montage Mania, we had more than 10,000 engagements and fucking like views and just like content and social media interaction on Montage Mania, which is insane. I don't think the rest of the esports world realizes how fucking killer that event was. Concept, like, how do you think for the next one you would like make people realize, holy shit, outside of Fortnite SA, people can look at this thing and be like, damn, holy shit, this whole thing is going on here? Or do you think it's not really necessary that you get the outside eye in a way?
I feel like it's gonna be it's gonna be bigger and better in the sense that the first one was actually us trying to do this, we like literally when I went to the editors, it was us saying, guys, we want to try this out, is it, this is what we want to do, and the editors were like, sure, 100%. I came to Neymar and them, I was like, guys, I want to do this, and they were like, yeah, 100%. So we were just trying out and to see how this would like the outcome would be. And it was amazing, actually. There was a lot of engagements. People were there, they were on Twitter saying, so and so is going to be number 1, so 2, and 3, making predictions. And then, things happened. Certain people then reached the top 5. There was a lot of drama and the suspense as well. How we did it, like we didn't just like announce, oh, this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We literally split it apart for like an hour, and numbers kept going up and up and up. It was literally, I think number 1 was announced after 12 o'clock.
So late
people were aware. People were awake to try to find out who's number 1. So it was amazing. So I think for the next one, it is going to be bigger. It is going to be better. It's going to be more structured. I think we now know what to do. We noted our faults. I know we spent 30 minutes trying to come up with a point system. So obviously in the next one we won't spend like 30 minutes coming up with a point system and how we, gonna tick it off. But yeah, in the next one we're gonna be more prepared. But it all comes also to social, like these certain things, like you were saying, with the bounty customs and whatnot. We're trying to do something fun, something where people could just like talk and just chill out a bit. Unlike tournaments where it's like, oh, Neymar griefed me at my landing spots or something like that. People can just vibe out and like, oh wow, so and so killed me. Oh, I want to kill Ripsy, or I want to do this and that. Because it's not all about competition. We could all just have fun and be like, friendly.
Dude, all I'm gonna say about Montage Mania is that when Montage Mania 2 comes, the scene ain't fucking ready, dude. That shit's gonna be fire, dude. That shit's gonna be fire. Like Neymar's clips are gonna be even more fire for that thing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But to switch gears here, now we're gonna swap it from leave the TO nonsense and let's dive into the star of the show concept, our man Neymar. So Neymar, you recently had a change in the team. You added Woke to the team. Now he was a guy I was hyping up. I got to interview him and stuff before he joined you, and now it's like a case of like it almost looks like, oh god, scene's over. Like Woke, Neymar, and Travis together, they're just winning everything. So first question I have for you is, how do you guys view your recent run of success? Because you guys are winning like so many tournaments. I think it was like 3 tournaments in a row, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just like you guys are dominating. Do you guys feel on your end like you're like much better than the rest of the curb, or like you just had good events, or is there something specific you feel like you guys are doing and the rest of the field isn't doing? What do you guys attribute your recent success to, other than you guys being 3 really good players?
Okay, well, in my opinion, well, not in my opinion, what I've noticed, right, we always say to each other, for ZA, we feel very confident. We go into there with the most confident minds, our clear mind, everyone's on the same ping, we know what we can do, and we just take it from there, right? Where, yeah, ZA, we feel like we've played really well. Sometimes we feel like we throw some tournaments, right, because we like over W key. When we know if we play a bit slow, we do have the potential to almost win every single game. But it gets boring sometimes. Having Woke in the team, he's very aggressive, you know what I mean? And Travis has so much confidence now as well with having Woke in the team. So if I say, guys, let's not push, or whatever the case may be, if they want to push, they want to push. It makes it fun and stuff like that. So yeah, ZA we're really confident about with the upcoming 20s and stuff, and we've played really well before. For ME wise, we are confident, but of course, ME is hard, They are all 0 pingers, and we don't have the practice for it. So for example, right, since we're not a T1 team in ME, we don't have the practice they do every single week. We'd have to play the open scrims, which it's not good because there'd be, let's say, the players aren't good at all. So we can do stuff that we won't usually do in those tournaments. You know what I'm saying? Because the players won't just see it coming. Where in those tournaments, the players like, oh wait, these guys are doing this. So it doesn't work out. But we didn't manage to make it 2 heats. We were quite disappointed because we obviously didn't want to make it to grand finals, and we could have. We it just wasn't our day.
Right. And do you think, like, obviously from the local side, we were already on the Woke hype before he joined you. When him and Skara were playing together in the duo season, they were fucking wrecking shit and stuff. So from you, before you played with him on your team, like, obviously I'm sure you thought he was good, but has there been anything like when you joined, you like, actually, holy shit, this guy really is good? Like, what is that experience like with Woke joining you and Travis there?
Yeah, of course. You could see everything when you play with someone a lot, right? Like, I would know what Woke, not his weakness, but what he's not the best in, right? But what I've noticed, he has like insanely good aim. Like I've never seen someone aim like him. You know what I mean? And he's overall just, his confidence is through the roof. Like if he wants to push someone, he'd want to push someone. We have to like hold him back in a way because he knows he's that good. Which it's crazy. Like, and it makes me confident as well because I'm confident in him believing in himself to take the fight. You know what I mean? So it's overall good for the whole trio.
Man, that's so great. That's like anime power of friendship. This one believes, the other one believes, and then there's just like wreckage through the way, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man. Now your other teammate, it's obviously not a weird one for you because obviously you played with Travis for a long time. You know he's legit and stuff. But I feel like people have a very weird perception on Travis in a way. And I feel like I didn't realize this because obviously I recently like started interacting on Fortnite and stuff. It feels like to me he has like this weird complex himself where it's like a lot of people say you carry him, right? Or this one carries Travis, or he's just carried by Neymar all the time. You as his teammate, can you like say something about like this is what Travis does and provides for the team, you know, in a way?
He makes our decisions, not all the time, but he's the IGL in the team. He'd make our final decisions. He'd tell us what to do most of the time, especially if we full tryouting, for example, right? We'd listen to him. We're confident in his decisions. So it's not like we're saying, no, Travis, do this. Like,
right.
Travis is telling us what to do, and then we supporting him. And yeah, it works really well. He doesn't lose his 1v1s. I don't know why people say that. I carry him or whatever. Like, it's so weird.
It is very weird because usually for IGLs, like in a lot of games, like I follow Counter-Strike, Dota, like, or they're usually like the players who, even if they play isn't like the best, they're not meant to be that because they're making the calls and stuff in the game. They're like the brains behind the operation with the stars, you know. But I don't know, maybe people like I don't know why Fortnite is they like to shoot him and stuff a lot, but I feel like hopefully he feels better hearing that's like, you know, Neymar's giving you credit here on the pod, bro. You alright.
Yeah, he's insane. Like, and he knows this as well. We tell him. We do make jokes now and then, like, oh, he's just the IGL or whatever. But you know, you just to get on him. But no,
Right.
he knows he does a lot for the team, and we hype him up so much, especially with these snipes. Like, in my opinion, definitely best South African sniper. He'd snipe everyone, and we'd go into an advantage with the fight. He helps so much. It's really good.
That is great. Concept, you from a FortniteZA as an insider point of view. I know you trash at the game, but obviously I know you follow the pro scene like no other. Were you expecting the reign of dominance from Ney and Co?
I 100% I am. I feel like they're one of the teams every other team is worried about. You know, if Neymar and them say they're landing Slurpee, you know, every other team that's around Slurpee is gonna try to avoid Slurpee. That's how, you know, most teams look at them and view them as a huge threat. I don't know about the ME scene, like Nay was saying. You know, there's a lot of T1s there. They're not really T1s there, but like I'm sure even the ME scene is like, you know, aware that, you know, there is Neymar, Travis, and Moke out there somewhere, you know.
And they'd love to push
yeah.
us. In their minds, we like free kills with them, because of course, like the ping difference is insane. So I don't blame them, but yeah, it does backfire on us. Like, we wanted to change our name once for ME, just so that people don't
But
know it's us landing here. So yeah,
But how do you think you're gonna bridge the gap between that?
I don't know. You just have to work around it. Just play a bit slower, and then yes, it does cost us. We can't land the best POI or something because, of course, this insanely good team on 0 ping, so they already have the advantage. Is landing there. It's not worth for us because we know we're going into the fight at a disadvantage. Really, why? Like, what's the reason? So yeah, like for example, right? We can't. If we're at a disadvantage on the fight, we have to do something insane, like one pump someone or two tack him, for example, to win the fight. Where on 0 ping, if they lose the advantage, they can come back and change one thing just by taking a wall or something, for example. So yeah.
And then, so I know you were talking about the scrims earlier. So, like you say, the ME scrims are kind of like cut off to South Africans and stuff. But you think if if the opportunity was allowed for your top teams in SA, like your team, Kareem's teams, Kareem and Chum, all the best guys, do you think that you would see that gap being closed a bit quicker, even with the ping, because you're getting high level experience all the time?
Yeah, I think it won't close tremendously, but it would definitely close just a little bit, in the sense of we're fighting good players all the time, you know, especially good 0 ping players instead of the bad ones. So yeah, it would.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to progress in a game where you don't get to have that high level competition. Because I know even in Dota South Africa, when that shit was still alive, lol. A lot of the good teams and stuff like used to go. They used to scrum like EU scrims. They were part of like scrim groups and things. So they used to get that higher level of competition quite consistently, which is quite good for them. But in Fortnite, it's so hard, and I feel like people, it's very hard for we don't actually know how good you, Woke, like Kareem, all the big guys would be if you put them in like in on low ping. We actually don't know because like FPS games, you can't get away with playing on high ping. Honestly, I don't believe it's like possible you can beat pros from high ping here in SA. Like the fact that you guys do so well is really impressive. Like all you ZA players, like fucking hats off to you guys because it's just hard, man. Like it's really, really hard. So I would like to see, like I always make this joke about the FIFA scene where I was like, get the 5 best FIFA players in SA spot in EU or NA. Just let them live in a team house for like when you send the Counter Strike teams and all of that kind of stuff. Give them a chance also because I feel like our guys playing your FIFAs, your Fortnites as well. Like I stick by this. I think you don't know what would happen if you put Neymar on 0 ping. Y'all don't know. This man could take over Fortnite, ME or EU across the world for all we know. You know, it's like you got to give these chances also to you guys in the like I'm not gonna call fringe titles, but not your traditional esports titles. It would be really great to see.
Like I was
Yeah.
also gonna say, like, have you noticed sometimes the EU players, right, would come to ME and they'd play on similar ping to us, and it plays higher than most South Africans. And in my opinion, right, like, yes, we can definitely do it. There's sometimes where I feel like Travis and I we throw so many games where if we didn't throw them, we can make a top 10 or a top 5, right?
Right.
But I feel like they can do it so consistently because they've played on that ping and they've played with so many good players all the time where the experience just goes over. So all they have to do is just play slower, but now they know what to do. Oh wait, this is a good team here. We know how to rotate around them. Where for us, we're playing ZA all the time or SAQR opens, for example, not against those good players. So we don't know how to rotate around them or know when to peak or know when to get Storm Surge in a certain way, unless you do get that practice that we don't get, unless you like really, really look for it.
Right. And if you had to like put in
100%.
tiers, Concept, did you want to go there? Sorry about that.
No. I'm saying 100%. Like the whole ZA scene has been at a disadvantage the whole time. Like everybody in ZA has potential. They haven't reached their maximum potential up until you put them in a scene where it's like, okay, now you have 0 ping. You know, now see how high you can actually go. Whereas, EU kids, like you said, I've noticed like EU kids when you take them over here and you bring them over to our ping, they just adjust. They know how good they are at 0 ping. Now all they have to do is just like try adjust to our ping, and they play very, very good.
Right.
Like I don't know. Yeah, it's exactly what you're saying. 100%.
Just the experience.
So in terms of, okay, this is like a hard one and people might get offended, but I don't think there's any reason to get offended. I say this, but people always do get offended by this. But I feel like every single game we have here in South Africa, quote unquote esports title, maybe minus Apex Legends, because fucking ATK Arena and DMNK are actually like slaying it on a pro level for some reason. They fucking amazing. So shout out to them. But every game in South Africa, like the level is just lower. Like in Dora, we have MMR, which is quite accurate. We can say for a fact, like these players are at this level and the pro players are at a whole other level. CSGO, we've seen teams go overseas for the last 5 years and we see what the results have been. Obviously, BVD eventually did well, but even then, none of the players couldn't do it. Only 2 of the guys, South African guys left there, Sonic and JT. I feel like the gap is there in every game. So what would you say, how big is the gap from like South African Fortnite to your EUs, like your top of the EU? Like if you had to put it in tiers, how big is the difference, do you think?
You can't. Well, you can, but like,
Okay.
I don't know. It depends because we've never played on that ping, so you can't tell us. Like, I can't tell you. But let's say if I had to say, okay, this is our level on this ping, but they still on 0 ping, they levels above. Like we have an ME player who's in our Discord, right? One of my friends. His name is Cookie, right? He can 3v1 us almost all the time.
Yeah.
All the time because he's on 0 ping. Because he can clutch situations where we just can't clutch. Like we'd sit there, we'd know what he's gonna do. Like it's gonna happen. We know he's gonna do this, but just because of the ping, we get a blank or something like that. You just have to. It's crazy. The gap is there, but I can't tell you the exact gap because we haven't played on the ping.
All right. That's fair. So it's interesting that the EU players are placing so well there. I like. Hopefully the opportunity will come. I know Kareem told me a couple of stuff behind the scenes where there could be overseas potential and stuff. So if you guys do get that chance, it would be great to see. Concept, anything else you wanna add on, touch on before we sort of come to the close here in this interview?
Nah, I'm good. I'm rooting for the boys, the men them in ZA. Like everyone has so much potential. It's just, I don't know. It's an uphill battle, and I'm sure one of these days, Epic's gonna look at Africa and be like, you know what, these people need something. You know, we haven't thrown them a single bone, not one time. So this is give them something. You know, they might be. You know, it's the pipe dream of every single person in South Africa who plays Fortnite. It's like, yeah, maybe one day, you know, they'll like, yeah, let's try Africa. But until then, I don't know. I guess you just, you know, keep on the grind.
In typical FortniteZA fashion, we could say hashtag Fortnite South Africa servers. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Neymar, you coming to the close of the interview. Is there anything last things you want to put out there? Say shout outs, anything like that?
No, nothing. To be honest, I'm perfectly fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for having me on the interview. That's all I have to say.
Anytime, man. There you know I got endless time for you. Concept. Unfortunately, I also do have time for you. Always put me to work. But that's the wrap. That's episode number 15, guys. It was an absolute pleasure having the Fortnite ZA extraordinaire with us. Neymar, the man in the back scenes Concept. It was a good one. Till the next one, guys. Remember to follow this podcast. We're on YouTube for the video version, Spotify, Apple Music, all the podcast platforms. We there. And of course, check out esportscentral.co.za on the website for all the latest and greatest SA esports news. Thank you all for listening, and goodbye.